Hey y'all, welcome back to the Free Black Women's Library YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you for liking this video. And thank y'all who have been subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. My name is Ola. I'm an artist, a cultural worker, and a librarian. And I'm also a little bit of a media addict. And on this channel, I talk about movies and TV shows that I'm excited about, intrigued by, interested in, most of them centering Black women, Black femmes, Black feminism, and so on. Either way, in this episode, I am talking about A Different World, a show that first aired in 1987 and is now currently streaming on Netflix. I'm talking about season 1, episode 3. Now, this first season was a bit of a chugga pushing through, right? I think they were still trying to find their footing, but we know for sure that it's an ensemble cast featuring Jaleesa, played by Dawn Lewis, Denise Huxtable, of course, played by Lisa Bonet, Marissa Tomei, Maggie, and Kadeem Hardison, Dwayne Wayne, Jasmine Guy, Whitley. So this is our core crew. These are our core characters in this first season. And each one is a bit of an archetype. I did a little bit of digging, and it turns out that the people behind the scenes of season 1 did not want to overemphasize any racial aspects of the show. They wanted to keep it very neutral in terms of storylines and characters. So this is part of why it feels the way it does, because it's taking place on an HBCU campus, but you don't want the characters to talk about race and being Black. You want to have this white female character in the midst of this HBCU Black world, but you don't want to acknowledge race, right? You want to put these characters through these very basic, typical sitcom-y plots. But anywho, yeah. So this digging has taught me a lot about why the show felt the way it did, season 1. And I'm going to continue to dig and continue to share more info as I talk about each episode. Now, episode 3 is called Porky Bergerac, inspired by the play or the character Cyrano de Bergerac. There's a really awesome movie that I love called Roxanne. It's a comedy starring Steve Martin that is also inspired by this same play or this same character. Either way, we have Denise, who is the artist, who's the messy, irresponsible, lazy, I hate that word, just kind of space cadet-y character. She's supposed to be like a Pollyanna, a fish out of water, very clueless, very inconsiderate. This trope bothers me so much because I'm an artist as well, and I don't think artists are all messy, irresponsible, selfish people, but that is something that's often shown in TV and film, but we'll talk about that another time. We have Maggie, who is the good-natured, a little bit high-strung, always thinking positive, happy, industrious character. She's the best friend, right? People come to for advice, the one people come to when they need some cheering on. And then you have Jaleesa, the big sister character, because she's a little bit older. So she's a little bit more responsible. She's been through some things. She's the one that actually gives the real advice. Yeah. She's been married. She's now divorced, and she wants to become her own person. She's blossoming into something else. And then we have the iconic Whitley, the Southern Belle. And Jasmine Guy says the voice that she does, not sure if I said this in my last video, but that voice was inspired by one of her third grade teachers, the Whitley voice. Either way, Whitley is prim and proper, condescending, judgmental, rich, spoiled, a princess. We have Dwayne, who in this first season just gave me creep vibes, because why are you always in the women's dorm? Why are you so thirsty? Relax. Yeah. So anywho, So we have these characters and they're friends. Obviously, they care about each other. This episode, we have the situation where there's ants in Gilbert Hall and people are not keeping the place clean. We need a dorm monitor to keep people in line. Whitley automatically assumes that the dorm monitor should be her. So she goes to Stevie and she lets her know. Stevie says, this is a democracy. We're going to have to take it up to a vote. You can't just declare yourself in charge without anybody else getting to weigh in. And Denise and Maggie, they don't want Whitley in charge, right? So they go and they talk to Jaleesa and they say, Jaleesa, you would be such a good dorm monitor. Maggie can't run because she's already in 12 clubs. Denise can't run because her GPA is too low. Oh, also, did I mention Denise is a little bit boy crazy? What gives me this idea? Boy crazy is in the opening sequence. You see her stopping everything she's doing to walk after these boys. And then in this episode, she's got a crush on someone named Michael Oku. So we have these two storylines going on at once. We have this meeting of the dorm where Whitley talks about how she should be dorm monitor. She gives a speech. And then we have Jaleesa forced to run because she is annoyed that Whitley thinks that she can't win. And Jaleesa wins. So she establishes a couple of dorm rules. One, if you're in the shower for too long, you get your towel thrown with you. Two, if you leave the dorm room in a mess, you have to wear a pig nose for the whole day. Now, y'all know where this is going. Denise is obsessing over Michael Oku and whether or not she could call him to ask him out to some dinner that the professors are having, the math club, the science club, who knows, child. Either way, she works up the nerve and she calls him up on the payphone. Do y'all remember payphones? Listen, I'm an elder. So if those of y'all who are watching this never experienced a payphone, you're lucky. All right. Now we have cell phones, so we don't got to worry. But either way, she calls him up on the payphone. Somehow she has his number. She asks him out. He knows who she is. He says yes. She's excited. Mind you, she's eating pizza while she's talking to him. She's so excited that he says yes that she forgets and leaves her pizza out in the lounge all night long. So the next morning, Whitley, of course, is coming out of the bathroom in her pink robe and she sees ants. She follows the trail of ants to a pizza box and it says Huxtable on the box. She goes to Jaleesa's dorm room, knocks on the door and says, hey, look what I found. And Jaleesa says, okay, Denise has to wear the pig nose. And Denise says, no, I don't want to wear the pig nose. I have a date with Michael Oku. Please don't make me wear the nose. And Jaleesa's no nonsense. I feel like I would say she's a Capricorn. She says, listen, you know the rule. Wear the nose, okay? Time to grow up and live up to your responsibilities. So Denise says, fine. She puts the nose on. She walks around campus covering her face. She bumps into Dwayne and she tells him, can you please find Michael Oku and tell him that I'm not going to make our date. Please tell him I'm not feeling well. I can't let him see me like this, walk with his nose on. Dwayne says fine. And of course, he has his thirsty moment. He has this thirsty moment in every episode where he asks her out and she says no. And he says next week. And she says no. And he says next year. And she says no. Either way, we're back at Gilbert Hall. And here we have Denise in the lobby. And in comes Michael Oku. And she tries to hide. Oh my God, I can't let him see me like this. And then in comes Dwayne chasing after Michael. Like, Michael, Denise Huxtable, and that is not her, is not going to make your date tonight because she went away and she don't like you. He says some nonsense, right? And in walks Maggie with a pig nose on, and Denise tries to pretend like she's not who she is because her face is covered. And I guess Michael doesn't know what she looks like, even though he said yes to the date. Sitcom logic, okay? That's what this is. Either way, we have this sweet moment where she tells him, this is what happened. I have to wear this nose because I left a mess in the lobby. And that's why I'm Denise. I'm Denise. And Maggie says, yeah, and I'm wearing a nose because I ate the crust off the pizza. So Michael takes the nose that Maggie has on and puts it on. And then he does his arm like this, and him and Denise walk out of the dorm room arm in arm. So they go out on their date. And later on, we see Denise comes back, and it turns out she had a beautiful time. And there was possibly maybe a kiss goodnight. That's all, folks. So that's the Porky Bergerac episode. This is episode 3. Our ensemble has been established. We have our core characters, and we're pushing through season 1 to get to the good stuff. For those of you who have been subscribing, leaving comments on my videos, thank you so much. It's been so encouraging. And I'm going to keep going. And I have some other shows that I want to talk about with y'all too. So yeah, let me know what some of your favorite shows are. Let me know if you've ever seen a Black woman artist character in a film or TV show that wasn't portrayed as an absolute mess, because I'd like to see that. All right, y'all. Thanks.